G'day and welcome to the Hunting Connection podcast. My name is Zach Williams and I am your host. Here we'll connect you with hunters, fishers and outdoor enthusiasts from around the globe. This podcast will share hunting and fishing stories, including past experiences, and tackle the tough hunting stereotypes our community faces. We hope to be a positive influence to those outside the community while also having a laugh along the way. Hope you enjoy the podcast. G'day and welcome to another episode of Hunting Connection podcast. On this episode, I am joined again by Carly from the Women Who Hunt podcast and Guntraders. How you going?
G'day, mate. Nice to be back. Thanks for the invite back on.
Awesome to have you back. Sorry it was last minute, like we were discussing before we kicked off. I'm in the process of moving house, so everything's been a bit chaotic here, and I realised, hey, I need to get at least one more episode out before we move house, so people aren't longing for a new episode.
Happy to be that guest, mate.
It's perfect timing because we'll jump into it in a little bit, but you just tick something off that you really wanted to tick off last time we were chatting. So,
well, since we've chatted last, I've ticked a few boxes, mate, but the big one, you're right. The big one in this in the 2026 Raw, I managed to get myself a red stag.
Amazing. Yeah, as soon as I've seen the photos, I'm like, oh, I'll see if Carly's free to have a chat. It's so awesome to see.
And I didn't need my arm twisted to have a chat about this fella either.
That's awesome. Well, we'll jump back a little bit before we spoil the goods too much. We need to keep people hanging around. I do apologise if it does sound a little bit more echoey. My podcast studio hunting room is almost completely empty apart from a gun safe and a couple of mounts sitting on the floor. So it's very echoey. I can just hear myself in the empty room.
But in saying that, the next time people listen, you'll be from your new fancy podcast room, yeah?
Oh, I've still got to build it. It's probably just going to be a blank shed for a while until the first thing will be putting Wi-Fi in the shed, and then slowly from there getting back to where I need to be and set up a flash little studio to get some more people around and do some multi-guest appearances and hopefully do some more international podcasts, because I won't be in the spare bedroom in the house anymore. I'll have my own little space and I don't have to worry about being so quiet anymore.
Looking forward to seeing what's next for you, mate. I really am.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I've got some ideas. Whether I can get them out of my head into reality will be the next question. Lucky I've got lots of friends that are pretty handy with tools, because I'm bloody useless with tools.
As long as you got someone that can make the thing in your brain turn into a thing in your hand, that's all you need in life, mate.
Oh, that's the beauty about ChatGPT. I was able to put the shed into ChatGPT and say, hey, this is what I want. This is the size of it. Give me a rough idea of how it will look. And it's given me some pictures to work with and some, floor plans almost. So that's great.
Where would we be without ChatGPT, right? It's so good for that stuff, and being able to kind of just plug those ideas in and actually have something bounce back at you. It's pretty cool tool that I quite enjoy as well.
Yeah, it's awesome, because I'm not an artsy person. Like, I can't draw to save my life. I can't make stuff up on the computer to save my life. So having a tool like ChatGPT for someone as stupid as me, I can punch in my stupid ideas, whether, I use it to meme guys at work. I've made AI songs to stir people up. I made the AI song about me losing my keys with Cody last year, so I have all these stupid thoughts, but now I can punch them into something and bring them to life.
It's so cool. It is so cool.
Well, things have come a long way since last time you were on. I think you just kicked off the podcast. You're probably only, I don't even think you had an episode out yet. Maybe two, maybe one or two. When did you start?
Yeah, so I think when I had chat to you, I think I had my intro podcast out, and I think I'd had one guest episode was out live, and then the next one was in the tank ready to go after that. So, and I'm 25 in now.
That's awesome. So good to hear. Yeah, you've had some. I'll just jump on to see. Like I said, I've listened to 10 or so.
Thank you.
Actually, yeah, probably about 10. And yeah, you've had some awesome guests on, and just some amazing women and young ladies, and it's been awesome to hear their experiences of how they've gotten into hunting and shooting and breaking that stereotype that hunting's just for the guys.
Look, and that's been my favourite part. Like, I don't think I'll ever stop doing it. It's the stories that you get to hear, and then ultimately share. But you know, I'm front row seat, and I get to be part of these ladies' journeys, and like I've genuinely become friends with quite a few of the guests that have been on my podcast, and we chat weekly, and we all keep in touch, and everyone kind of shares each other's wins, and yeah, we've all kind of become each other's support crew, kind of, which has been really cool. And that was the whole idea of starting Women Who Hunt, was to try and build a community that the ladies felt safe to, you know, come in and go, oh, hey, you know, I've done this, and be able to have a community of like-minded ladies that you know, when they've taken a stag or they've taken a pig or whatever, they can jump in and we can all share that with them, because they mightn't have friends that are into that hobby. We're kind of just building that platform.
Yeah, no, it's been so amazing. You know, even some of the guests that I've recommended you've had on, which has been absolutely awesome. Cads and I've just had
Cass as well.
Cass, that's where I was going. Yeah. Cass will kill me when she hears this.
And both absolutely spectacular ladies, like just so inspirational and at the forefront of everything that we're trying to achieve in the sport and the industry, you know. So yeah, really, really cool ladies to have as part of the guest lineup. So yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Like I said, I had them both on my podcast, and they're just fantastic guests. And yeah, the episodes you asked questions that I didn't even think of asking, and it was just awesome to hear another perspective and hear someone else get some different questions out of them.
Yeah. And I just approach it like I'm having a chat with a mate on a phone about something that we love. Like that's how I like, and that's what I laugh when someone's like, oh, you want me to, because a lot of the ladies that I get on, they've never been on a podcast. They've never been asked to be on a podcast or anything like that. I'm like, look, mate, it's just think of it like you're chatting to a mate on the phone about some cool stuff you've done out in the field. And you know, I've got a couple of questions that I like to ask routinely through the show, but everything else is just, you know, have at it. Give us let's just see where the rabbit hole takes us and what cool stories we can talk about.
Yeah, that's one of the things that progresses out of like doing a few podcasts is like I've got a list of questions that I used to run through routinely, and now it's just the conversation flows a bit better. And that's what I tell people, exactly the same thing as you tell them, is it's just like two friends having a conversation and we just see where it goes. You know, if we get stuck and we need to move on, or something pops into my head, then I'll ask the questions I have. If not, all the questions are just going to be spontaneous, apart from my last few questions that I love hearing people answer. So it's amazing how far you can progress with just speaking.
Oh, 100%. And like and it's always interesting to kind of follow a path down. Like you start somewhere and you end up somewhere completely different. Like that's the thing that I love about it, and sharing that with other ladies that want to hear it, and everyone who wants to hear it, really. I know that I've got a few fellas that reach out and are like, oh yeah, listen to your podcast every week, every fortnight, and yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, the intro is pretty catchy. It's like I'm not sure if you know the online computer game RuneScape, but it takes me back to playing that when I was in my early teens.
Oh, I just love the pagan ritual music, so that's why I chose it. Like, I'm just, yeah, I think I was a fairy in a past life.
No, it's awesome to see how far you've progressed on the podcast, and it's great to see because, like, I think everyone should have a podcast. I love listening to everyone chatting and talking, and like I've said from the start, I'm all about everyone getting out there and supporting everyone and helping everyone grow as what they want to do. And
100%.
Seeing you just take off in the past year, it's been so good.
Yeah, it's been pretty cool.
And you've had one or two international guests as well. I know that one of the guests you had on, she contacted me, but I just haven't been able to make it work. Christine Green, and I see the book on the shelf behind you there as well. So yeah. That's awesome having people like that reach out to you and wanting to have a chat.
And she is a spectacular human. When you get a chance to have her on, mate, holy dooly. Have you read or listened to her book yet?
I have not.
Do yourself a favour. And everybody listening, Moonlight Elk. Sorry, I'm just going to do a massive big plug. It's a fantastic book. I don't have time to read books anymore. So all my reading is done through Audible, and she actually narrates it herself. So
amazing.
When I had her on, it was a bit surreal because she's talking about these people in her own voice, and I'm like, oh, I feel like I already know you. Like it was, and she's got another one coming out, Salmon Jumping. I think that's going to come out either the end of this year or the beginning of next year. So she'll be back on for a chat about that as well. So, but yeah, pretty spectacular human.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm definitely keen to have her on. I know that I've been putting it off because it's one of those things that 17-hour time difference is just an absolute killer. At least when I have my own space, I can sneak out at midnight and go to a podcast or early hours of the morning and make things work a bit better for everyone rather than asking guests to get up at 4 a.m. to do a podcast.
Yeah, it was actually, you're saying that, yeah, it was a bit of a logistical hula hoops for both of us. But yeah, we made it work and it was pretty cool.
Nah, that's so cool. And yeah, you've had heaps of big things happen this year. I see you teamed up with Brackenware. Luke got hold of you. What was it, after the United We Stand podcast or just before that?
Just before that, yeah, we can't speak highly enough of Brackenware. I wear it all of the time. We all of us, me, Glenn, and Ethan, we're always in Brackenware in the field, and I just if anyone hasn't actually seen it in the field, I don't know, it's some voodoo, I don't know what it is, but like Ethan's got a trick. He's a 16-year-old boy, right? So they're always tired. So wherever he can have a chance to have a bit of a kip in the grass, he will. And you just scan through and you're like, where is he? Because he's always got his veil up and his hat on. And yeah, it's, I don't know what the camo pattern that Luke's got there going on is absolutely incredible. And yeah, it's super comfy and we love it. Like we just, yeah. And we wouldn't be spruiking it like we do if it wasn't any good. And yeah, we wear it all the time. So yeah, thanks, Luke.
Absolutely. I loved it too. I've still got some some, and I was using it there for a bit, and yeah, it's great gear. Looks real good, and yeah, every video I see you now, you've got that orange Brackenwear hat on, and so it's almost an iconic part of you now.
Oh, look, it's really about when we first started hunting. I saw a couple of people wearing Brackenwear, and I'm like, oh man, they're the cool kids. That Brackenwear. If you're a cool kid, you're wearing Brackenwear, and it's really just about me thinking that I'm a cool kid.
Stop it! You're growing Luke's ego. He'll be listening to this, and he won't be able to get out the car because his head will be too big.
And he's actually a genuinely good human. I've met Luke, and we've spent a bit of time with him, and yeah, he's a very humble, awesome human is Luke, so he does a good job.
Oh, 100%. He's absolutely top bloke. Like, I know that he sells them publicly, and I've been testing him on the side. But he made the bow brackets for the back of the car to hang your bows up. And I said to him, these are cool, but like me and my mates have been talking about when you're spotlighting, we kind of need somewhere to put your rifles in the back seat and stand them up, because when we go spotlighting, we might have 4 or 5 different rifles with us, and we just like to change around. We'll go from 22s to 22 Magnums to Hornets to something bigger, 243, 270, whatever, and we're constantly changing up. And I said to him, I'm like, could you take what you've done with the bow bracket and come up with something for rifles? And he goes, I had thought about it, but I'll see what I can do. So over the next couple of weeks, he just started sending me diagrams and stuff that he's drawn up on CAD's Architect, and then he started printing them, and within less than 2 months, he had something fully printed out, and he had it at my doorstep, and it was absolutely bloody brilliant. Like, unfortunately, like I said, we've been in the process of moving, and I've changed jobs recently, so it's just been absolutely flat out, and I haven't been able to get out as much. But when I finally got to take them out, it was just so damn handy to take out. I'll have to post photos of it up there for the world to see. But yeah, have you seen them? The rifle bracket he made?
Not in person. We've been talking about him, and we've got an arms fair coming up in May. He was going to bring him down, but unfortunately, he's got some conflicting things, so he's not going to be able to get to the Toowoomba Arms Fair in May. But yeah, I think he's planning to come to the October one in Beenleigh, so I think he'll be bringing some to that, which will be looking forward to seeing him there in person.
Speaking of Beenleigh, I'm drinking some of their rum right as we speak.
Oh, look at that.
Have you tried it? The Beenleigh pineapple and white rum. I'm not sure if you're a drinker, but it's so nice. It's nice.
I'm a teetotaler, mate, so wrong audience. Good stuff.
Good stuff. Really good. It was like I've always been a rum or a cider drinker. And yeah, as soon as I tried this one, I'm just like, ooh, this is my new favourite drink.
My dad's a rum drinker, so which one is it? I'm going to have to get him some.
Crushed pineapple and white rum. It's really
good. All right. I'll be getting that through the bottle-o. So
yeah, there's lots that happened since you've been on. Your podcast has grown. We had that unfortunate incident in Bondi, and we jumped on a podcast together with a bunch of other people, even with all the tech difficulties we had at the time, which was crazy. Getting, I can't remember how many of us there were, but
there was so many.
8 or 9, maybe 10. I can't remember, but yeah, it was just people dropping in and out, and yeah,
it was wild. Hey,
it was good fun. It was good fun to bring a great bunch of people together for an unfortunate topic, but other than that, it was a good podcast. So if you haven't listened to that, go back and have a listen. It's week after or 2 weeks after the Bondi tragedy, so we're chatting about gun laws, and all the states were pretty much barreling down to change gun laws. So has that affected your other business, Guntraders Australia, and what you guys do? Have you seen much of an impact?
To be honest, no, we haven't. We expected there to be some sort of impact, but when WA laws changed, we did see quite a big, like it did spike with the sale of people trying to offload before the buyback and all of that sort of stuff happened in WA. But with the uncertainty and, the information was so fluid and there was no real architecture around the decision and the policies and all of those sorts of things. It was so knee-jerk and reactive. And then so there was a lot of, people look at those things and, you are going to get your first initial spike of, oh my goodness, this is going to impact me. I'm going to have to make a move and do something. But that subsided quite quickly to a wait and see kind of thing. And then there was that deadline of March and that came and went and nothing actually happened. And now it's kind of spiking again at the moment. And One Nation's put out their firearm policy, which is, quite a rational policy. It just seems, I don't want to get into the politics of it, but it seems like the Liberals and the Labor are very, very unorganised and not very coordinated in what they actually want to achieve by imposing these laws and policy changes and those sorts of things. And I think your firearm owners, we're inherently good people because we are very, very, very scrutinised. We're probably one of the highest demographic in Australia of people who are scrutinised. We are looked at on every angle and we do everything we possibly can because we love the lifestyle that we live, and we are probably the most law-abiding citizens that the whole country have. So, and we're quite measured as a general. There's always outliers, but 100%. as a general statement, we are quite measured. And I think that's probably what we've felt in Guntraders world is there's been a very measured approach. Sales haven't spiked, sales haven't dipped. It's been very, very plateau. It's been pretty much the same as before the unfortunate incident. And I think it's purely because it was just so dysfunctional. The whole policy thing was just, there wasn't any clear guardrails or guidelines, and we like that in the firearms industry. We like guardrails and guidelines, and there hasn't been that. So that's, I guess, what we're waiting for.
Yeah, that's one positive because you're up in Queensland, so things have there's been a strong pushback against regulation, a new regulation up there, which has been fantastic. The sister state, New South Wales, they haven't been so lucky, but it's still, even though they've brought all this new policies and laws in, it's still up in the air what's actually going on there. So it's just absolutely crazy. And, I had a guest on last episode, the episode before this one, and, he was saying he's got, a couple $100,000 worth of firearms, and he's just at an absolute loss. It's all he does. He loves shooting, loves hunting. The blokes are paraplegic, and that's all he does. That's what gets him out, and he loves collecting guns. And it's just one of those things. He feels very, very hard done by because of it, and I don't blame him.
Yeah, we're definitely targeted. There's a push to say, oh, we can't discriminate against one demographic, and yet in saying that they're also discriminating against our demographic and not realizing that there's actually another side to that coin of where they're trying to push. So hopefully some sort of logic peers its head out in the political landscape, and we're able to kind of push through and do something a little bit more Aussie than we've been lately. And I feel like there's a shift in that stance, but again, I'm not political. I don't understand all of the moving parts, but, you know, hopefully we can, hopefully some common sense can prevail.
Yeah, 100%. And like I said, like you said, I'm not political either. Like I hate politics with a passion, but unfortunately, when we're in positions such as we are, we kind of have to dive into it a little bit. And I'm slowly understanding little bits and pieces more, but it's still just such a mind game. And it's just, yeah, so frustrating listening to all the different politicians, you know, even ones that were like, it got me so annoyed with some of the New South Wales politicians who, you know, in remote communities in these areas, you know, one fella who's a gold medalist pistol shooter backflip on shooters and then act like everything's okay afterwards, and was upset that he felt hard done by, that the community turned on him.
Yeah, it's certainly a tricky place to be right now, and I think it's just one of those time will tell kind of things. I think that while they're not saying it, but I feel like they're actually they are feeling it, and they're trying to work out how to undo some of the stuff that's been done without looking like they've got pie on their face. But yeah, I don't see the current. I don't see the current legislation being something that Australia-wide will adopt and will be taken on at a federal level. It feels a little bit like, thankfully, thankfully we've been pushed far enough, and we kind of, and it's not just the firearms owners, and I think that's where it's a little bit different. This time around, I know that there was the 1996 stuff, and we won't get into that, but this time around, even non-firearms people are saying it's not a firearms problem.
Yeah, no, definitely. And that side of stuff's been great to hear and see, but it's just, yeah, like it was that time when we did the podcast that it was just such an uneasy time amongst everyone. Like everyone was in panic mode and worrying, and, you know, like talks of, you know, 4 firearms per person and stuff like that, which New South Wales looks like they're still going that way as the last time I heard. But yeah, it's just absolutely horrible. But moving on to bigger and better things, I think last time we chatted, you know, you'd been on a few hunting trips since you got your license, and you were getting around the hunting side of things. You know, you'd put down a cow on one of the properties that you hunted because it broke its leg, and that's about as far as you were at the time into your hunting journey. But since then, you've done a lot more. So let's hear about your journey and what you've been up to.
Yeah, it's certainly been a bit of a journey. I got my firearms license in 2022, so there was lots and lots of bushwalking with guns. Which was pretty cool. You know, it was the 3 of us, me, my husband, and our son, and getting out in the bush and all of that sort of stuff. And then, yeah, having to help the farmer out, which then actually kind of enabled me to break through some of those mental barriers to go, actually, yeah, I can pull a trigger when I have got an animal in my sights. And then from there, we spent a little bit of time at Severn State Forest because we've got our R licences. I actually deliver the R licence training because I'm a trainer by trade in my other world, and yeah, so saw a gap being in southeast Queensland. So I'm actually accredited to deliver the R licence training now because, you know, spending so much time in Severn and wandering through there, I got myself a few goats. We're quite partial to the old goat curry now, and I did a ham with a goat leg.
Oh, awesome.
It was so good. But yeah, we spent a fair bit of time at Severn. I really, really like it there. And then, Yeah, a little bit of time at a place called Happy Valley, which is Kilkeven, just outside of Gympie. Mate's property there, Chiddle property. So spend a bit of time out there. Haven't nailed myself a Chiddle yet. That's still on the cards. And then just recently managed to get myself some pigs. We've had pigs cross our paths in Severn quite a few times, but just never the right timing, never in the right spot, and they're bloody cunning little buggers when they want to be.
Yeah, don't bring that up. I know all too well when it comes to pigs. Tell us about Severn. So my first time I ever heard about Severn was the Hunters Campfire guys when they broke down hunting Severn. What is it? Where is it? And how can you get on it? Because, as yourself, you probably get a lot of messages. I'm getting into hunting. Where can I go? I always direct people to that episode that the Hunters Campfires boys did of Severn and a bunch of other state forests that they did in their earlier days. So give us a little breakdown, what it is, where it is.
So Severn's pretty much the closest state forest, New South Wales state forest to Queensland. So I'm Gold Coast based, so it's about 4.5, 5 hours drive from here. So it's not a big hike, and it's my main things that you're targeting there is goats, and I think goats is a really good entry level animal to hunt. There's a lot of them. They are a pest, and we do need to keep their numbers down. And they're not real smart. They like to bleat, and they like to tell you where they are. So you've just got to have your wits about you. There's two sides of Severn. It's not a massive state forest, and there's only 4 people allowed at any one time, which is handy for us because there's 3 of us and we usually take a mate. So then, you bump in. We've got this wicked campsite that's kind of a little bit out off the beaten track. But then when you wind up and you get up onto the plateau, it's 5-star views all the way at 360 degrees around, and absolute magic spot. One of our favourite places to go. You've got 2 sides of Severn. You've got your south side and your north side. So your south side, you walk in. There's no driving. You've got to actually physically walk it, and it is quite big. And that's where we've mostly seen a lot of our goats. In saying that, last few times we haven't seen too many down there because the water has dried up in those creeks. So we have actually come back onto the north side to get to the mobs. But I like the south side because you've actually got to walk in, and it's you and your rifle and the bush and your ears, and you're listening out for the guys, and it's just beautiful in there. I recommend Severn to everybody that I talk to as an entry level. It's not massive. It's not like your Nundle and your Hanging Rock and all of those places and Tuggelow and all of them that, you got to spend 3 weeks looking at topographic maps to work out, where your water sources are and when your pick is and all of that sort of stuff. Severn, you're either going to go in and you're going to be on or you're not. And that's why I think it's a really good beginner entry level state forest to hunt.
That's awesome. Look, Daniel from Eureka Outdoors, he went and hunted that after chatting, and he was pretty successful in there with some goats and seen a big boar cross his path going through there, it does sound like an awesome spot. And like listening to the Hunters Campfire boys talk about it, I'm like, I started Googling how far it is, but I think it's about that 18, 19 hour mark. So it's just that little bit too far to make it to a little state forest like that when I have Victoria in about half that.
And it is tricky to get onto because there is that limit. There is only 4 people allowed at any one time, so it does get booked out pretty quick. So you kind of have to be onto it.
So to get out there, you need your R license, and then you can go hunt these state forests, and that's the good thing about the state forests is, Queenslanders, South Australians can get their R license and go across and do it. I much prefer the Victorian way a bit more, and that's just show up. But I've yet to hunt a state forest. I haven't got my R license yet, but it's on the cards to do one of these days and go check it out. See what all the fuss is about.
Yeah, it's definitely worth investigating, and we can't hunt state forests here in Queensland, so. You've either got to be blessed with private property access, or you get your R license and you hike it down to New South and have a crack down there. And it's absolutely beautiful. Like we were down in that, we were on brother-in-law's property a few weeks ago, and it was right. It's right in amongst that whole. It's near Terrible Billy and Nundle and Hanging Rock and Tuggelow and all of that sort of stuff. And it's absolutely magic down there. Like the change of colours in the trees, and we don't get the different seasons like that here in Queensland. Winter's usually a Wednesday. and you may have to wear a jumper that day.
Yeah, see my work, we've got a depot up in Queensland, and we fly a bunch of the newies down to train them up down here, and half of them have never left Queensland before, and they're like, South Australia, this is cold, like ridiculous, like, or they get the other end of South Australia weather, which is 40 degrees, and it's just a complete dry heat compared to what you guys have up in Queensland, and it blows them away every single time.
Yeah, we're definitely spoilt here for weather. Mind you, I say that, and it's been raining for the last, I don't know how many days. Like it's just, yeah. But what I'm hoping is it's going to get its rain out of the way, and then we're going to have a nice dry winter. But yeah, let's see how that goes.
See, I want the opposite. I want a really wet winter here, so we can get the feed stores up and the dams a bit more full, because our last few winters have been absolutely horrible. But we're quite blessed. We got some early rains, late January, mid-February, and it greened things up pretty quick here. So that was nice to see. Hunting with some green pick on the ground during the rut was a different experience compared to usual, but I'm sure anyone in New South Wales or Victoria would see the green pick we have here, and they'd think it's, we're still in the middle of a drought.
It's interesting, hey, because when we were at my brother-in-law's property, there's just a massive big flat area that we camped on, and it's like, I don't know, the grass it's almost like felt underfoot, which is pretty cool, but it's like brown, and you get these tufts every now and then, but then you kind of walk in. I heard a fallow croak for the first time at his property, so that's, yeah, did all of the tingling up the spine sort of stuff, and then so we're on this massive big area that's like this brown felt, and then I did my first solo stalking in there, left the boys back at camp and just grabbed my backpack and my rifle and off I went. And then you kind of walk away from that felty stuff and you get into the more foresty And because of the way it is, the green picks underneath the crackly bark that's fallen off the trees. So you're so noisy. It doesn't matter how careful you are with your footing. It's so noisy. But yeah, it was a pretty cool experience. Definitely something I encourage people, now that I've done it myself. It's certainly something I encourage people to do is to leave the horde behind and trops out by yourself and just be with nature. And yeah, I see it different when I'm by myself, and I get the bug now. It's like, all right, I'm gonna leave you all at the camp, and I'm gonna head out.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's one of those things. Like, hunting with people is I prefer hunting with people just because you tend to have more laughs and you're like mucking around. Like, as serious as you are out hunting, like when you're got a couple mates or whatever with you, you're still laughing at, random shit and, mucking around, in a responsible, safe way, but like you're still like, taking the piss out of each other. And, like when I go out with my mate Ilias, Action Man, we're just constantly in tears laughing the whole time. Like, we can't sit still and wait for game to come to us because we're too busy just giggling like schoolgirls the whole time. As bad as it is, we've killed a couple of deer together, and that's about it, because most of the other time we're just like scrolling through reels next to each other and just having an absolute laugh, or have you seen this, and we're just pissing ourselves laughing, like just doing stupid funny shit.
And that's how I am with the boys, because I've always hunted with Glenn and Ethan. Like, I've at the brother-in-law's property, that was the first time I went out by myself, and they're gonna absolutely kill me when they hear this, but like we'll be like stalking up, and there'll be something like, and one of them will fart, and I'll be like, really, guys, that's what you're bringing to this? And then we're laughing and yeah, it
yeah, a good fart, burp, or belly growl. Like, Ilias and I were sitting down in a spot one time, and my belly just started rumbling and growling, and he's like, "Oh, did you hear that? There's a deer coming." I'm like, "Nah, that was my gut." And he's like, "What is wrong with you? Are you dying on the inside?"
Yeah, that's literally what it's like. One of the boys will just, and because we were out in the raw as well, just before we got to the fallow property, we didn't know whether there was going to be reds there or not. And yeah, young bloke's there, and he's farted behind us, and I was like, oh. And then he's just cracked up, like not even a quiet pretend like I'm hunting laugh, like a full guts laugh, and we're like, all right, that's it, we're done.
It's funny, like, as serious and everything as you need to be when you're out hunting, but you still find game on some of those times. Like, there's times when you're by yourself, you're as quiet as you can be, and you're not finding anything. Or if you're out with a couple people and you're laughing and giggling and that, you just run into game, like, just out of nowhere. It's like, how come when we're making noise, we're laughing, we sound like a freaking herd of elephants walking through, herd of elephants followed by, a pack of hyenas cackling, and you run into game.
But that's what keeps us going back, though, right? Because you can't actually, as much as we pretend like we can predict it and we can read it and we can do all of this fancy stuff, like you can't. You're out there, you're giving it a crack. If something happens upon you, awesome. If something doesn't happen upon you, well, then you've got some pretty cracker memories to take away with you. Like, that's hunting, right?
Oh, 100%. Like, the amount of times we're giggling, like one of the most successful days I had out with Ilias, he'd shot his first fallow doe, and we're celebrating, we're sitting in the shade, taking photos, having a laugh, giggling, and then my stomach growled or something. He's like, "Is that another deer?" I'm like, "Nah." And he goes, No, behind you. There's one running behind you." And this one-antlered buck just comes screaming across the hillside, and it stopped at the same tree that he shot his doe at. and I've just rolled over, grabbed the rifle, and jacked in around, and dropped this buck under the same tree that we dropped his under.
That's fantastic. Do you know what's even better about that? Y'all don't have to walk too far.
Oh, we dragged it to shade, into a nice shady spot. So we
Gotcha.
dragged the doe. So we got up, walked over, grabbed my buck, dragged it back to the shade, took photos together, and walked back to the car and grabbed the car and took them both out. So,
Neat.
yeah, that's it. But it was just one of those days. Like we'd hunted 2 different properties, and we're at the end of it, and we're just laughing and giggling, and then the buck comes running out.
There, fallow. I don't know. I've got this thing about fallow at the moment. Yeah, because I stalked another one, and he was only a spiker. But yeah, and it's just something magic about them. Like they're just, I don't know. Yeah, it's definitely on my list. Glenn's got the rooster. That's his target, and I'm like, all right, yep, sweet. Rooster's good, but I don't know. There's just something. I've got this thing about a fallow now. I need to pursue that.
Definitely. They're an incredible animal, and there's nothing like hearing them croak. The best mornings are, and I didn't get to experience too many of this rut, but being like on a cold, frosty, foggy morning, and you're hearing the croaks out in the distance. I heard a couple of croaks, and I caught a young buck in, but I didn't end up taking him just because I had the rifle. I'm like, if we could still bow hunt it, and I had the bow with me, I probably would have taken it. But I'm just like, nah, well, let's find you a granddad.
And that's what I was like as well. Like it was so cool because the property owner, the property's been in their family for like 20 odd years, 25, maybe 30 years. So it's been a long time in their family, and we've been meaning to go down for a million years, even before Ethan was born. And we were like, nah, we're doing it this time. We're going. And he, it's not where he lives. It's where he's got he's got his caravan, and he goes there, and that's his downtime property. And he's kind of taken us around to show us the boundaries and all of that sort of stuff. And he stopped at this waterhole, dam that was fed by like a creek kind of thing, summer creeks sort of thing. And we were standing by and because I'd been watching so much YouTube to see what the sound was like and all of that sort of stuff. So we're standing by this creek, and I hear this noise, and I'm like, and I've looked at Glenn, and I'm like, is that a croak? And Martin's like, that's odd for frogs to be croaking around. I'm like, that's not a frog, mate. And then he went again, and I was like, whoa, okay, hello. And then he went all night, and it was to the point, like I was lying in bed, and I think it was about 1:30. I'm like, nah, it's definitely a frog. It's got to be a frog. And then I'm listening, and I'm like, that's not a frog. You know how your brain kind of plays tricks on you? It's like, oh, hang on. You want this so bad. Are you just making a sound up so that you can tell yourself a story that you're in fallow country? And then when I stalked in on him and eyes on, it was like, holy dooly. Like the whole world fell away, and it was just me and him looking at each other. And it was one of those memories that I was trying to film for YouTube and all of that sort of stuff. I thought I had the DJI, because I had my DJI stuck down in behind my bino pack. I thought I had my DJI on. Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah, that's the hardest thing about filming hunts, is one of those things. And it's like when I caught that little buck in the other day, I'm just like looking at him, and he's 13 meters away. Like I was just sitting on a hill, I was looking up a gully, and I'm like, because I just had plain paddocks behind me. This is like a scrubby part of the property. I'm like, I'll sit here, wind's good, and I started making some doe calls, and the wind's blowing in my face, and then I just hear something behind me, and I turn around, and this little fallow buck's coming straight down through the middle of an open paddock, downwind, hadn't seen me, and just wandering up, and I'm like, grab the gun. I'm like, nah, I'll just grab the phone. I'm like, I'll see if I can take a photo or a video of how close it is. And it just stood there for like 2-3 minutes, and I'm like taking photos and videos and zooming right up, and he's just walking up and down the fence like trying to suss out. He's like, I know I heard a lady here somewhere, but I don't know what that thing is on the ground, but there's no girls here, like what's going on? And he's come over and he's jumped the fence, and he's just trotted past and then gone and bedded down about 200 meters up the ridge line, because I bumped him soon afterwards. I'm like, oh, maybe he might flush out a bigger buck.
They're so inquisitive, isn't it? And I think that was the story with this little guy, because there was a bigger buck, and we could hear him as well, because you kind of, after a while, you get to learn. It doesn't take you long. You get to learn the different volume, a bit different pitch. And there was another big fella, and we bumped him. Never actually seen him, but we bumped him, and he had 3 or 4 does with him. And what we worked out was this little fella was croaking all night the way he was, is because he was just trying to get a girlfriend. It was like, oh, I'm here too. I'm a fella as well. You can come and stay with me. You don't have to all be over there with the big fella. I'm here too. Hello.
Yeah, that's the funny thing with the little spikes and that. Is just it's like their first year that they can actually breed, and you know they've gone from that 6-month-old, you know, as their first rut into their, you know, year and a half, and you know most of them are spikes, if not, you know, little, as they call them in the States, like branch antler bucks, and they're on that satellite edge around the edge. And even if they're with the girls, they don't even know what to do. They're just like, I know I'm supposed to do something, but as soon as they get close, the bigger boys get in there and push them away.
Yeah, thanks, bro. We'll take it from here.
But yeah, no, and fallow tend to be the more aggressive ones out of most of the Australian deer species. Like you would think with reds, with the size of them, that'd be a bit more aggressive. But the fallow will take on absolutely everything, and that's why, you know, horse people hate them and all sorts, because they'll push horses around, and they'll push cattle around and sheep and whatnot, because they can get so aggressive.
They're not shy, that's for certain. You know, they're out there, and they're prepared to give everything a crack.
Yeah, we always, like, you know, when you spook a fallow, that little prance that they do, that little hop, skip and jump, just that pew, 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 and they just, it makes everyone laugh every single time. Just watch them do that little skip.
We do some training at the Kilkeven property, and the owner's got a 200-acre pen, and he's got some white fallow there that's all locked up and all that sort of stuff. And when we're there, they're really good training deer to stalk in on. You know, there is pets, right? So they know they're safe. But, yeah, it's that prance that they just, I don't know, it's just something, it's just weird and cool and funny and awesome all at the same time.
Yeah, compared to like reds, like, you know, reds just kind of like trot away, where the fallow, like, they can be a big buck and they'll still do that little skip.
Yep.
So you had your chance on fallow, and sounds like you passed up that spiker and you couldn't get onto anything bigger. Reds, what's happened there?
So we were out. We went out the week, so the 28th of March. So a week before we went out to Martin's property. I'd had it on my calendar forever. So pretty much since August last year was like, all right, March 2026, we're going to do the rut. And so yeah, I'd had the date on my board for a long time, and I was getting rut ready, so I was doing all my exercises and all that sort of stuff. And I was getting prepared so that I could, I could walk 4 million kilometres and then carry my proceeds out and all that sort of stuff. So I was, it wasn't just something I woke up one day and went, oh, do you know what? I'm just going to go grab a red. So there was lots and lots of lead up to this year's rut. I didn't take it lightly. I know that I had to put the work in and spend a fair bit of time at the range getting to make sure that I was familiar with my rifle and, I knew my distances. I knew all of that sort of stuff. So I put the work in because my biggest thing is ethical shot. I won't pull the trigger unless I know that you're never going to know 100%, but within that range, I'm going to know that I've got a good shot. So I put all the work in and, we got the phone call from Lawson from Nature's Perks to go, 28th of March, head on out, guys. They started roaring last night. So, we packed up and off we went. Which was ironic because I'd had the 28th of March on my board for forever, and he'd been out there a couple of days, and he's like, I'll give you a call when they start to roar. And bang on 28th of March, they started to roar. I'm like, that's weird. Anyway, we head out there. I'd never heard a red deer roar before in real life. Sitting around the fire, we got there, we're sitting around the fire, and these couple of fellas just started, and I was like, whoa, hello.
Just to reminisce, let's see if this still works. There's no better sound, is there? It's fallow croaking's cool, but red's going off the nut. That's something else.
They stop you in your tracks, don't they? Like there's just something primal about a red roar. We went out. We listened to them roar all night. And then we got up 4 o'clock. It was still dark. Ethan loved being woken up when it was still dark. It was his favourite thing. And then we headed out. They were roaring all around us. I was too noisy. We just weren't in the right spots, all of that stuff. They'd literally just started roaring, so they were all full of their testosterone, and it was all happening. Got set up on a ridge. Glenn went to take a leak. We were all facing left. He went to take a leak on the right. I was like, midstream.
Been there.
And here's a stag. Not right there, but he could see it. So then he's like, what do I do with that? So then he's had to stop what he was doing, try and come over. I was set up facing the opposite direction. So then we've had to try and sort me out to get me back in and where he was actually at the time. I didn't see him. Everybody else saw him. Lawson saw him. Ethan saw him. Glenn saw him. I didn't see him. I'm the one with the rifle. It was my stag and I didn't see him. I'm like, really? But he had 5 or 6 girls with him. And he moved. The girls spotted us like they always do. The girls are always the ones that are the tell. He was too much in his head trying to be the big man to worry about that stuff. But the girls were the tell. But I managed to get a female in my scope, and that was the first time I'd ever had a deer in my scope. And I'm like, all right, this is on. This is proper cool. But walked away that weekend, hearing them. It was bloody awesome. It was so good. Didn't get a stag. We did see. We had a spiker come up. So I got to see him. He was pretty cool. Got him in my scope as well. But again, it was just it was just a practice. I wasn't going to take a little fella in his first go round. And then we didn't get to see. I didn't get one that time. So then we went down to the brother-in-law's property, and Lawson's rung, and he's gone, nah, we got to get you back up. Come on, come back up. So it was the weekend after we come back from Martin's property. We got up, and he messaged us the night before we were heading out, and he's like, they've stopped roaring. Do you still want to do it? And I'm like, yeah, like, you know, deer are deer, right? They don't just disappear because the roar stops.
Yeah, 100%.
So we went out, and then got up there late that afternoon. Next morning we were out again, 4:00. Loved it by Ethan. And driving to a spot, because Lawson's like, yeah, there's a few around. We're gonna have to actually do it like we do every other time of the year, because they're not going to tell us where they are. Drove to a spot, and we seen one, and he was up on the face, and that was it. We hiked in, got set up. The boy Ethan and Glenn were behind the lantana. I was kind of in a spot where we have a clearing. Lawson did a roar, and this guy came charging up out of the gully, and Glenn's like, he's running at you. He's coming straight up for you. He's coming up. Couldn't see him coming, could I? And then all of a sudden he pulls up, and it was picturesque. Like, there was 2 trees and then just this clearing, and then he's stopped and he's pulled up, and he was broadside, and he's kind of turned to face me, and then he's turned back around, and I got him straight in the shoulder, and he was down.
Amazing.
And that was it. You know, I think it was about 7:15 when I looked at the clock in the morning, and I'm like, that's it, done.
Bloody beautiful. Don't you love it when that happens?
The lady was just like it was meant to be, and he's a beautiful 4-4. He's an old boy.
He's a cool looking deer.
He wouldn't have lasted too long, because I'm taking him up to Marcus it down under taxidermy, so he's going to be taxied on my wall, and when we were caping him and getting him all sorted out, we've pulled his skin back, and there was a puncture in his gut, and I'm like, I didn't shoot him there. And what had happened, what we were looking at, is there's actually 2, it looked like a little spiker, because this guy was cranky. Like, he was mean and angry, and he was not happy with the world right now, because he was just like, because Glenn's like, he's charging at you. He's like, he's running up. He's like, he's gonna kill you.
Just because they're not making noise doesn't mean they're still not rutting, and they can still be pretty cranky.
And so what's happened is, I reckon he's had a little fella upset him like that morning, and he's spiked him in his guts, and he's probably thought that was this fella again coming back at his territory. So he and I having a bar of it. So so that was
man, they're tough animals. Like, you get scars all over them, and those spikers, like big gnarly stags, will stay away from spikes, because a spike will kill them, because they do have just 2 swords on their head. You know, at least with a multi-beam stag, like, he's got lots of points there. He's not going to get them all in. But if you've got a 15, 16 inch spiker, and he gets you under that shoulder, you're dead. And you see it all the time with reds, fallow, elk, all sorts, and they're a cool animal, but tough. Like, my stag that I shot, we were caping him out, and he had a 243 round in his neck from a year or so before. It was just like it healed over, and it was just a pus ball in just under his skin, and pulled the projectile out of his neck, and he was healthy, fine. I reckon he just was in someone's crop, and they're just like, get off, and he just walked away from that and survived.
Nah, they're pretty gnarly animal. And the thing that got me was how big he was when I walked up to him, because he'd kind of gone down into the gully that he rushed out of, and he was just it was lying down in there, and he's just this massive ball of muscle, and he was just enormous, and I'm like, holy dooly. And his head was like a massive, like the biggest watermelon you've ever seen in your whole life, just about. And I'm like, holy dooly, like, and just beautiful. So I just, spent a bit of a minute with him, because it was just the perfect. If you wanted to script it, that's how you'd script it. Like it was just, and then it was ages, 'cause nothing went to waste. We took his back straps, we took his back legs, and they're in the freezer now, and that's tomorrow's job. We're going to be doing the mincing tomorrow. So because we kept the pigs from the trip the week before.
Beautiful.
So we got pig meat and venison in the freezer that we're going to be doing mince out of tomorrow. That'll be our day tomorrow, so it doesn't go to waste.
Didn't lose your keys after shooting it? Because I know you can get excited after dropping a nice stag, and things go wrong sometimes.
And I'm really, really fortunate, Zach. I've got a pretty awesome support crew. Like the boys were right there, and it was awesome. The first thing I did, because it was me and Lawson and the DJI, and then the other boys, and then Ethan and Glenn were coming down behind. And the first thing I did was just handed my rifle to Lawson, and I'm like, you just make sure that that's safe, and we'll put that up over there, so that's done and dusted, so we don't have to worry about that. And then we just, then it was all of the photos and all of the appreciation and spending the moment with the animal. And Lawson set him up and put the feed in his mouth to send him over to the next world with his meal. Yep, and then just enjoyed him.
I see that in the first photo that you have. You can see it in two of the photos. It's some awesome photos there. He's a gorgeous boy. So how are you getting him? You're just getting a shoulder mount done? Straight on, slight turn. What are you doing?
It'll probably be just straight on. We're just waiting for Marcus from down under to give us the thumbs up. We caped him out, got most of it sorted out when we were out in the field, and then did the face caping when we went back to camp, so we could kind of pay attention and do that properly. And then that's in the freezer, wrapped up in a game bag and in a freezer. Talking to Marcus all the way through, like, what do you want to do? How do you want it? And that sort of stuff. And we've caped him right. We've taken his coat pretty much right back from his very back legs. So there's a heap of stuff Marcus can work with.
Yeah, it's always better to send more than less.
We're just gonna, again, we've got heaps of photos to give to Marcus, just so that he's got the personality of him, and then just leaving that up to, he's the expert. He's done a million reds, and just gonna leave it up to him. The interesting part was we had the whole skull and the antlers and everything, and then just wrapped that up in a garbage bag, and then brought that home to deal with that when we got home. The most interesting part was the cutting the skull to take the antlers out, and like it's pretty gnarly in there, mate. Like I'm on the back table and I've got my hands scooping stuff out that I'm like, just keep going, keep doing it.
Pressure washer is the best way to do it. I've known a few fellas that after boiling a skull, they shoot down to their local car wash and stick the skulls up against the wall and give it a good pressure clean that way if you don't have one on hand.
But yeah, so it was. I'm really looking forward to having him on the wall, and so that we can appreciate him for the rest of our lives.
Amazing! Congratulations.
Thank you very much. No, it's certainly been a cracker of a year for us so far, and we're only in April.
I know. How good is that? What's on the plan? What's on the cards next? Where got any other trips planned or anything big that you're going to start planning?
Always got plans. Always got plans. We've got the arms fairs coming up like we always do. We've got them throughout the year, dotted throughout the year. We're going to be doing a little bit of stuff with Scotty Fry from Paddock to Plate and Scotty's on farm butchery. Had his daughter on the podcast a couple of weeks ago. She's a cracker of a kid.
Awesome.
So going to be doing a fair bit of stuff with him. And then August, I've got my very first Women Who Hunt course coming up where females get to come out, and it's pretty much the same course we do with Nature's Perks, but with the ladies.
How good is that?
So good, and we're really blessed to have the property that we have at Kilkeven. It's a perfect property. You don't need a 4-wheel drive to get into it. So it's really accessible for everybody. The farmer there's a beautiful gentleman who absolutely loves his deer and really enjoys having new people coming in and becoming part of that hunting community and the hunting family. So really lucky to have access to his property. And that'll be the first of many Women Who Hunt courses that we do. So we're kind of branching out from just the podcast to doing some actual in-person stuff, which is pretty cool.
That's amazing. Yeah, you've come a long way with the podcast and everything else, and no doubt Lawson has helped progress things along awesomely as well. For those that don't know Lawson, Nature's Perks, go check him out. He's a dead set legend. Hopefully get him on soon when he's back from New Zealand. I hear he's doing good things over there across the ditch, and he's going to be having a good blast over there for a month or so. So I'll have to catch up with him. It's been too long between drinks with him and I. So
no, he's certainly doing some pretty cracking stuff over in New Zealand. I think we'll probably be tagging along when they go next year. We'll probably be tagging along for that as well.
Amazing. Well, I can't wait to see that and see what you guys get up to for the rest of the year. And like I said last podcast, I still need to get the rest of your fam on and have a chat to them as well. So we'll have to lock something in for later in the year. But you guys also need to get down to SA and come check out down here as well.
100%.
Around like even Water Valley, I think they do a juniors ballot down there with the SSAA and like we said last time, that the hog deer ballot and stuff like that. So I'm pretty keen to see how you guys progress with all of that and how your young fella goes, not little fella, but young fella goes and with his hunting. So
yeah, he's in grade 11 this year, so we got to get through till November next year. And then 2028, it's going to be a cracker of a year for Guntraders. We've got lots and lots of stuff planned. Christy Green, who we were talking about earlier, she wants to get us over for a turkey and elk hunt. So hopefully we can do that in 2028. Ethan's got a few things that he wants to tick off his list. So hopefully, and some of them are in Victoria, and hopefully we can swing by South Australia and do some of the cool stuff in South Australia as well. So yeah, the only thing that's holding us down right now is Ethan getting through high school, and then we'll have our wings and look out world.
Damn school, what's the use of it? Getting in the way of hunting, eh? Should be chasing bucks and stags instead of A's and B's. No, I'm joking.
He's doing a good job. He's doing business diploma, and he's doing accounting, and he's doing all this sort of stuff. So his ambition is to have his mum and dad call him boss. And I'm like, do you know what? That's my ambition as well, boy, because while we're calling you boss, you're doing the work and we're not.
You guys are retired. You don't even need to call him boss. He takes over everything and you go on hunting trips while he has to stay back and work.
That's the plan. He doesn't work that out yet.
Awesome, Carly. Thank you for coming back on. I really appreciate it, especially with such short notice. But it turned out perfectly, and just had a great time after you taking your first deer and that being a cracker stag with that. So it's been absolutely awesome watching you progress as a hunter over this past year, and seeing what you're getting up to and seeing how much the podcast is growing. And it's great to see that you've got a program coming out to get more women into the hunting space, which is just absolutely fantastic.
And thanks for all your support, Zach. I really appreciate it. I know that you follow along and you do a whole lot of stuff for me behind the scenes, and I probably only see a third of what you do. So I really appreciate all your support and everything, mate. And thanks for the support that you give the ladies in the lifestyle that we're living. It's really nice to have backing from guys like you, who understand what it's like to be a lady trying to get into this sort of stuff. So thanks for supporting us girls who are out there doing it.
No, not a problem. It's awesome to see. Like I said, I like to encourage everyone to get out, and even more so when we're seeing more ladies getting into the sport. It's only going to help grow everything much better. So, it's awesome to see what you are doing and encouraging people to be more vocal about it. So, if people love what they haven't heard what our first conversation was, jump back to October last year, have a listen there, then go listen to all of Carly's episodes, and you'll get a great understanding of who she is and how passionate she is about it, and how passionate her family are about hunting and fishing in the outdoors. And go give them a follow, give them a listen, check out Guntraders and everything else that they put out.
Thanks, Zach. Really appreciate it, mate.
Where can people find you? What's your socials? Where can they find you? Find the podcast?
Two websites. So womenwhohunt.com.au. New website's just been launched. So that's a hub for all of the podcast videos and courses. And of course, for all of your hunting and shooting needs, guntraders.com.au. As always, we are the hub for all things and the marketplace for firearms and hunting and shooting.
Check it out and go purchase some stuff on there, or if you've got some stuff for sale, go sell it on there. It's I was actually scrolling on it last night, so
thank you.
Not a problem.
I appreciate the support.
Anytime. Thank you very much, and I'll catch you all next time. See ya. Thank you for joining us on another episode of Hunting Connection Podcast. We hope you've enjoyed our discussions and gained valuable insights into the world of hunting, fishing, and the outdoors. To stay connected with us and never miss out on an update, please be sure to follow us on social media, all at Hunting Connection Podcast. We appreciate your support and would love for you to share the podcast with your friends and family. Don't forget to tag us in your hunting photos on social media and let us know about your experiences. Your feedback is invaluable to us, so please take a moment to subscribe, rate, and review the podcast. Together, we continue growing and delivering more captivating episodes for all hunting enthusiasts. Stay connected, stay informed, and keep pursuing your passion for the hunt. Until next time, happy hunting.